Hello, everyone, and today we're here to talk about a film series that you probably have heard of, based off of a game series that you probably have heard of, directed by a man who you may not have heard of, based off of the works of a guy who you probably definitely have never heard of. This is Dwibs, Shiroi. We're here to look at a film series that stars Michelle Rodriguez in the very first film series, but then she goes on a bit of a hiatus but comes back in a later movie.
I've heard that one before.
That's right, folks. We are not commentating on Fast and Furious today. Instead, we're doing the Resident Evil film series, aka probably the Fallout 76 of video game movie series.
I mean, I didn't properly seen these movies before, but I only have heard bits and pieces of it. But as far as video game adaptation go, from what I heard, while they probably are bad, they're not like Uwe Boll tier of bad.
Let me put it like this. It started off good. In fact, there's a bit of history behind that. They started off good with the first movie. Well, decent. And then the sequels came. I'll talk about how influential this movie was, but first things first, let's not drag our feet here. Alright, folks, start at the
Screen Gems.
The Screen Gems logo. God, it's been a long time since they were.
We are the Crystal Screen Gems. Alright.
No, we're not.
And here we go in 3, 2, 1, click. Resident Evil, one of Capcom's most, if not their most popular franchise ever. The franchise that popularized zombie movies. Well, zombie stuff in general.
More like the start from the mid to modern era, Jova.
That reminds me.
Constantine Film.
Oh, by the way, you want to know another thing? This was produced by Sony Pictures, who would later be the ones who would help run this film series into the ground.
Also, the Umbrella logo, nice.
Hi, Sony.
I recognize Constantine Films though. There was a lot that made Downfall.
21st century, the Umbrella.
The producer, one of the producers of this film, Bernd Eichinger, wrote that.
9 out of every 10 homes contain his products, his political and financial influence traveled everywhere, blah blah.
This is actually something.
This is kind of like the Alone in the Dark movie opening.
Alright, so this film was directed and I think written as well by Paul W.S. Anderson, who
not to be confused with Wes Anderson,
whose biggest claim to fame up till this point were Event Horizon and the first Mortal Kombat movie.
Also Alien. Well, okay, Alien vs. Predator will be 2 years after this.
Hey, you want to know another video game series he did? Dead or Alive.
I think he only had one movie.
Is that one very much dead?
Oh, wait, you haven't heard of Dead or Alive?
No, I'm asking if the movie series is dead.
Yeah, it only had one.
Yeah.
Oh, sure, here's the thing, the surprising thing. It only has one movie, but bizarrely enough, it's probably the only major fighting movie adaptation that has these closer to his source material. I know, right?
Which is sort of why Capcom came to Paul W.S. Anderson for this film series. Well, sort of. He kind of came to them, too.
Until this point, Capcom only had tried to do a movie based on Street Fighter, and yeah, we know what happened.
So here we see a bunch
of second major attempt.
So here we see a bunch of Umbrella Corporation guys working with, what else? The T-Virus.
Of course.
Okay, having not really played any of the games, my headcanon after watching the SGB playthrough of LA Noire, that the Umbrella Corporation started off running hot dog stands.
Oopsie!
They got into this.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have an outbreak. Take a shot every time that happens with the Umbrella facilities.
Everyone is very clumsy, aren't they?
Why would you have air vents like that there?
I like to think of the Umbrella Corporation as the...
Actually, I think it was deliberate, Dwibs.
Basically, Dwibs, think of the Umbrella Corporation as like the Bethesda of evil corporations. Oh yeah, they're incredibly evil, but they tend to run on a mentality of it just works a little too much, to the point where they don't fix what's clearly broken.
I will compare them more to EA, in the sense that they have different separate sub-branches that they squeeze until they have all what they need, and when they're not useful to them anymore, they just destroy them, kill them on the spot.
Oh, hey, doggo.
Dobermans,
Hi,
specifically.
doggy.
So
Yep,
at least Paul did
Dobermans.
his research.
You
They're
know.
lovely dogs. A little scary, but they're lovely.
Oh, sure, Roy. Wait till Resident Evil shows you what it can do with them.
So if I recall
Biohazard.
correctly,
Oh,
if I
that's
recall
a cute
correctly,
little
Jova,
one.
this is the lab under Raccoon City, so this is mimicking the events of Resident Evil 2?
Actually, no. This one mimics the events of Resident
Whoa,
Evil
wait,
1.
Wait a minute. So the film was scored by Marco Beltrami and Marilyn Manson?
Yes.
Wait, what?
Okay, I like most of
Yeah,
Marilyn Manson's
oh,
work,
That's
but
amazing.
I don't think he's the most suited for this movie.
No, like, okay.
I mean, I didn't
I
even know he was
know
a film
the
composer.
basic idea behind this series, so even then, Marilyn Manson is not a name I would think would be involved at all.
It's
I
like
know,
it's like
right?
AC/DC when they scored Maximum Overdrive.
Okay, so a bit of history behind this film series. Originally, this film series had a different director in mind, George Romero. That's right, the guy behind Day of the Dead.
George Romero.
Yep, that's right. The guy, his series Day of the Dead is what actually inspired Resident Evil, and he had actually done some commercials for Resident Evil that were released in Japan. So originally they were going to have him. Apparently, the reason they didn't go with him was because they didn't like the script he provided. I don't know, something about Chris and Jill being romantically involved, which honestly is kind of ironic, seeing as how Capcom would later do that. Or at
Yeah.
least hinted that heavily themselves. And some
I'm
stuff
sorry,
about
Umbrella. I thought you
Ada
were trying to
being
transform
a
these people
scientist.
into zombies, not drown them.
No, Tio. We're not trying to turn people into zombies originally. That's not the original intent with the T-virus.
Why'd you call something a virus? Why would you even make it?
Well, you'd be surprised, Ribs. A lot of ways that you make a cure is by creating a virus.
Yeah, it's the same principle at the beginning of
That's the
Mission
same
Impossible
Mission
2.
Impossible 2 did, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, like, were they in the lift before the alarms went off? Because
Whee!
Basically,
if not,
Well, not that it matters now.
basically, security measures are keeping them inside.
because you don't take the lift,
During accidents like that.
yeah.
Is this a security measure too?
Yes, you'll see. So,
Kill an
any...
animal.
I mean, at this point, going back to the composing thing, at this point I don't think 2002. I don't think the series had a stable, composer yet, or one that people are more familiar with, because Silent Hill had the advantage of having, Akira Yamaoka, which was, generous enough that he actually get to compose for at least the first movie, and it kind of benefits to that. The movie's still probably a piece of crap, mind you, but score-wise, it goes through the right direction. Actually having a game composer, doing the score for the movie.
Okay, so they're all being gassed to death. So,
Maybe.
what did they go to that EA E3 conference?
Huh, maybe you're right, Teal. Maybe Umbrella is the EA of evil corporations. But anyway, back to the history of the making of this film. So after George Romero's script was sadly rejected, they then turned to Paul W.S. Anderson, who at the time was an up-and-coming director straight fresh out of England. So we have your country to thank for him, Twibs.
We're very, very sorry.
Right. Basically, for this film, there are two leading actors, Michelle Rodriguez.
Not for the guy himself. I'm sure he's a decent fellow.
Yeah.
Artistic works.
Oh, yes. He's a decent fellow. He suffers from, I'm gonna call it Huntsman syndrome, and you'll see what I mean eventually.
Yeah, just put your head in that perfect position. I'm sure nothing wrong will happen.
Now you're
Yeah,
probably
and
wondering, Squirm, if this film series is so bad, how did it get so many sequels? Well, here's the thing, actually. Believe it or not, the first movie was incredibly...
Almost there.
Don't worry, she survived.
Come on, it's just a Resident Evil movie. What's the worst that could happen to you?
Whoop.
That's
Exactly.
Yeah. Believe it or not, back when this movie was
Also,
first
yeah, in case
released,
you're wondering. Sorry, go on, Joe.
back when this movie was first released, it was an incredibly big hit for the day, getting over $100 million, which, believe it or not, was enough to get Capcom to actually relook at how they were doing the series. That's right, folks, we have this movie to thank for Resident Evil 4 turning out the way it did. More
Mind you,
action-packed.
this doesn't surprise me considering Capcom tried to do Resident Evil 4 twice before, and those two attempts turned into respectively Devil May Cry and Onimusha.
Huh.
So,
Funny how that works. But yes, we actually have this film series to thank for the time when Resident Evil went more action-packed. So that got
also,
us
it
Resident
doesn't
Evil 4 and
surprise me.
5.
Doesn't surprise me because by that point the bar for video game movie standards have been lowered so much. So again, doesn't surprise me that much.
And here's the leading lady herself, Alice, played by Mila Jovovich.
This is an original character. She has never appeared in the games, so made specifically to convey the point of having a new audience watching these movies.
Now, folks, get used to her showing up naked because that's a running theme in this whole series.
I'm sorry, Joe. I thought we were going to watch Resident Evil, not Parasite Eve.
For some reason, Paul Anderson loves to show Mila Jovovich nude.
Wonder if he's friends with David Cage.
Well, I'll give Paul W.S.
Unlike with David Shiroi, eventually I think his attempts actually went up being successful.
Yeah, considering how... Well, I'll just say this. Paul, if you love Mila Jovovich so much, you should have married her. Oh wait, crap, you did. So she wakes up in a room. Mysteriously.
And she has weird... I think she doesn't have memories of how she got here.
But it's out in the woods, interestingly enough.
okay. What have I missed?
Basically, our protagonist woke up naked in a shower.
Sorry, Libs.
They weren't. The director and Jovovich weren't married at this point yet, were they?
No,
Nope.
they weren't. But like I said, get used
Is
to her
this his
being
very forward idea of flirting?
get used to her being nude because she gets nude a lot in this film series. And-
Well, I mean, by this point, she'd recently
Oh,
divorced Luc Besson. IRL, I mean.
Lots.
Yeah.
You know what this
Mhm.
means? We gotta
puzzle.
solve. Yep, that's right. I'll give
A
the
staple of the series, well, at least for its first couple of games, is actually solving puzzles. A bit rudimentary, but still, very present. Silent Hill will also use this formula.
Interestingly enough, they gave her Ada Wong's dress for some reason.
Yeah, I don't get it either. I mean, I guess it's because it's sexy. I don't know.
Which is weird because
Maybe
Ada
she
Wong
was-
will later show up in this film series, but I digress.
Maybe she was supposed to be in the movie, but decided against.
I think it's the opposite, Waves. I think at first, they wanted to make the series just having, an idea connected to the game, but still very separated. But more it progressed, also Weeping Angels, but the more it progressed, the more they wanted instead to intertwine it with the plot of some of the games. But again, to make it perfectly clear, this is not canon with the games. It's something completely on its own. The CGI movies are the one in canon with the games.
Which I've heard Dweebs has seen one of.
The same one that I saw too.
Degeneration.
Yeah.
Ooh, so here we are in a mansion.
But I'll say later.
Like any Resident Evil project, well, I guess I should go with this. Like any of the classic Resident Evil quadrilogy, you start off in a rather mysterious setting, not knowing too much about where you are. I say the classic quadrilogy because, well, like I said, there's quite a split between Resident Evil 1 through Code Veronica and Resident Evil 4 through 6.
Yeah.
What about 7?
7 goes back to
People
the
are
old
seeing
format.
7 as the start of a new era in general.
That too, yeah. Boo!
Ah,
Well, that's very rude.
Well cried.
Okay, so now we've got the first Tomb Raider film. Just check that off the list. The only thing is missing is
Also that
jumping from
music.
the roof and doing bungee.
Yeah, that's Marilyn Manson's music, alright.
Which of these is... Okay, Java, which of these you think is Hank?
Maybe that one.
God damn it. That voice matches nothing of the soldier that is saying it.
That's right, our protagonist has
Has
amnesia!
Yay.
Isn't that always fun?
Wow.
Hey, a Capcom property where someone has
Who's
amnesia. That is so
Gentleman,
free.
let me check.
I'll never get why Capcom seems to have a hard-on for amnesia.
I think Clock Tower 3
Oh,
also
I
has the
recognise that
protagonist
guy
with amnesia.
Do you now?
Is an actor named Colin. Oh, well, first off, hi Michelle. And that guy before, he was that's Colin Salmon. He was in a few of the Pierce Brosnan Bond films. In fact, one that he was in came out the same year this film. One was Die Another Day.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Matthew instead is played by Eric Mobius. Let me check
Yep.
what else he did.
Now get this, even though Eric Mabus and Alex are technically the two leads here, the two leading actors are listed as Mila Jovovich and Michelle Rodriguez. Because Michelle Rodriguez was kind of the box office gold at the time.
Wow, I know absolutely nothing of the film resume of Eric Mobius.
But, guys, did you know we have Jason Isaacs in this film?
Huh?
He plays Dr. Yep,
Chamber of Secrets came out the same.
we already heard him. He's the narrator.
Not just that, guess what kind of roles he's playing?
Well, I know,
A
but...
dickhead.
You're very close, Sheeter.
Yeah,
So wow, like this essentially the same role in the same year.
Basically,
I
Dr.
won't be surprised if he plays a character in some spoof at some point called D. Fancily.
Basically, he plays Dr. William Birkin.
If you play Resident Evil 2, you know exactly who this person is, but we'll see.
Yep.
Wow, it's that easy to fix an elevator.
Apparently.
Also,
Just
Vin
doing...
Diesel. This was Michelle Rodriguez's attempt to step out of the Fast and Furious 1 shadow that Vin Diesel tried to get out of. And just like how Vin Diesel did it, they both appeared in a film in 2002, Triple X in Vin Diesel's case, and this in Michelle Rodriguez's case, that was mediocre at best. Their film careers tagged so hard to the point they had to go back to Fast and Furious.
Which is weird because this film was seen as a success, though I guess to be fair, even back then it
Fucking
was
jump
considered
scares.
decent.
Yeah, well, remember both this and Triple X came out the same year.
Oh, Triple X, I definitely remember being mediocre, and yeah, this, while it's definitely not one of the bad Resident Evil films, of which there are plenty, I will admit this is kind of more on the decent scale.
Did
I will
you
say-
see,
Again, when it comes to video game movie adaptations, this is more on the middle side from what I
Did you see
heard.
the? Hey Joey, did you see the sequels to Triple X?
I saw the second one, the one with Ice Cube.
God, I
Battle
can't
issues.
remember.
I saw the third one.
How was it?
It was okay. I mean, I think the film was pretty much made so Vin Diesel could have something else to do other than Fast and Furious, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I was in Triple X."
Hey, aren't you that girl that dies a lot in movies?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Ah, scary.
A dead guy. Oh yeah, this is Resident Evil.
Speaking of which, Java, are we missing something here?
Maybe.
No, I mean, it's a series called Resident Evil. It's a movie based on Resident Evil. What are we missing here?
Zombies.
A residency? Yeah.
Tio is directed by the guy who apparently squished a couple of again, not as badly as the
Property of
sequel,
Umbrella.
but apparently he had to squish a couple of games plots into one movie the last time he did a video game based one. Again, not as bad as its sequel, but I was just gonna stick up a middle finger and do the whole thing that stick.
How many people with amnesia do we have here?
Let's just say it's
I'm
a
surprised
side
that wasn't
effect of a.
something.
It's
Honestly, I don't remember.
Get amnesia as well.
Well, that's
okay.
the issue, right?
Now
She
we'll
always
give.
got it too. Shit.
I will give this movie some credit. It does do a rather creative thing of taking elements from the first three Resident Evil films. Like, you got the train from Resident Evil 2, the secret lab from Resident Evil 2, and let's just say it's got a little surprise from Resident Evil 3 coming up. So overall, we have Umbrella sending in one of their Umbrella Corporation teams to go in and try and figure out what the heck went wrong this time.
Even though they probably, hijacked that themselves, but whatever. Anyway, in checked, sorry, the other amnesia guy is played by, I think, James Purefoy.
I've heard that actor's name before too. I just can't.
Uncredited role as, I think it was the stuntman in V for Vendetta or something. Oh no, actually no, he was supposed to play the role, but left 6 weeks into filming. Some of these, a few of the scenes involving him are still in the movie.
Joe, very interesting thing about Colin Salmon, he's a British actor.
Huh, nice.
So what do you think of his American accent?
It's fine enough. So yeah, it turns out their marriage was fake. It was part of a cover to protect the secrecy of the hive.
Also, this 360 shot is... Cameraman, please, I don't want to barf.
So in an interesting twist of fate, our protagonists are actually members of Umbrella Corporation.
Just in time for the most popular outbreak of all, the Raccoon City accident.
Yep.
That one building was Raccoon City.
No,
Let's
the
just
Spencer
say,
Mansion.
Dweebs, basic Umbrella.
Apparently apparently there's a train that connects the Spencer Mansion to the lab under the police station of Raccoon City. No.
I mean,
Of
it would be
course.
kind of silly if we just said we were studying zombies. Huh.
What the hell is that instrument?
Blowtorch, I guess.
Yeah, but it looked like a chain gun.
Amazing, isn't it? So basically, Hive has a self-defense mechanism. Hi, nude shot of Alice. That was integral for the flashbacks, we swear.
Let me check. Paul W.S. Anderson's.
Oh, goody! Random bouts of how long it'll take for your memory to come back.
He wasn't married at this point, by the way.
Yeah.
And neither was Mila Jovovich, so maybe they were just...
Like I said, they got married in 2009.
Yeah.
So, yeah, again, props to Paul W.S. Anderson. It does take elements, but it's familiar enough so that even if you're a newcomer to the franchise, or if you're someone who's well-versed in the franchise, this movie could work either way.
So I guess this was a bit inaccurate and unfair to do the whole Huntsman thing earlier. He wasn't married, and neither was she. So...
Oh, no. It's not about them being married. It's about how much screen time he gives to certain characters.
I see what you mean.
That is part of the main criticism of this film series. It's not as bad in this movie, but as soon as the second film, we'll get to that.
So the film CG isn't as bad as the one in Mortal Kombat. Even by 1995 standards, that film looked shit.
Yeah, true.
Symbolism because she's shattered inside. Fucking hell.
Playing
No,
in
no.
San Francisco.
Remember,
It's a fake background. They're actually
Yeah.
underground.
Oh, right.
They say it makes it easier to work underground since, yeah, you probably would get freaked out if you were stuck underground for that
Don't
long.
have the budget.
Interesting, they managed to do this with a 33 million budget.
Oh, yeah. I will give these movies one thing. For the
Oh.
budgets they have, they are able to do quite a bit with them. Well, we're gonna have to use the stairs.
Oh well. At least you're going down.
You better be good for exercise then, in case you have to run from something.
Well, since it's Capcom theme, in Ryu's words, it's good for training.
So, in this version, all of Umbrella's computer systems are controlled by an AI known as the Red Queen. And yes, Resident Evil fans, the video games actually got Red Queen from the movie. So basically, we have to be worried of the Red Queen, seeing as how the Red Queen was the one who kind of, well, put down all the agents for one reason or another. That's what we're
That's
here
a
to
good
find out.
question.
Don't you just hate it when your AI goes homicidal?
I know, right?
It's the worst.
So, we just have to shut down the Red Queen. Should be simple, right? She only controls every single thing in this place.
Like that.
Okay, maybe not stuff that's biological, but... Oh, it's okay, she's dead.
What do you think?
I
She
mean, I've
hasn't
only
said
just
pretty
lost
much
my
anything.
memory, and I'm stuck in a mansion of which I
Can you
cannot
just point out that
remember.
the protagonist hasn't said that much so far?
Flashback!
Resident Evil is not that kind of, franchise that has like the silent protagonist that says nothing.
Oh, don't worry, Tio. Alice will talk a lot more in the sequels.
It's just funny considering the next two sequels, while they were written by Paul W.S. Anderson, we didn't direct them.
Yeah.
That said, though, it has his fingerprints all over.
Even though the third one was from the guy who did the first two Highlander movies.
Huh.
Of course.
What's Phoenix looking at?
Huh, he does look a bit like Phoenix.
So...
Oh no,
He's
the
a
vent!
like-
It's gonna kill us
Hey,
all!
Age Over is from Capcom too.
Yes.
This all takes place in the same universe.
I mean,
Totally,
according
I
to
swear.
Marvel vs. Capcom, all the Capcom lands are in one universe.
Even though it doesn't make a lick of sense.
Although
Well,
I-
yeah, Ace Attorney is canon to the MCU, so...
Hey, you know what I love?
Totally.
There was actually an IDW Mega... I'm sorry. There was actually an RT Mega Man comic that actually had Phoenix show up in it.
Huh.
Well, wasn't that like the Worlds Collide event?
Well, so much
Maybe
for
not.
so much for
Okay,
Dead.
this is lame. And for a specific good reason. The Resident Evil first game has this iconic scene in video game history where his introduction of the first zombie is slow, methodical, and very effective in how it instills fear into you. This is how the movie handled it. A cheap jump scare in the worst possible.
So it basically handled it as good as any other horror movie handles it.
Yeah.
Kind of a shame, yeah.
Not to mention, like, we're finally getting some zombies like 30 minutes in almost.
Oh, and in case any of our fans are wondering, of course we will be covering the video game series. We'd be crazy not to cover the video game series. And
Is this why the movie is bad for the most part? Because it follows a lot of the same by-the-number stuff horror movies do?
No. Believe it or not, this movie doesn't quite do all that. I mean, yeah, it has the jump scares, but since it's based off of Resident Evil, it actually does subvert a few zombie cliches. Yeah, that's the thing. Resident Evil, back in the day, was the thing that helped rejuvenate zombies in practically a lot of
Yeah.
stuff.
And then the video game industry just pile drived it into the ground.
Yeah, to the point where even
Just
Resident
like
Evil joined
Just like
the
with
mindless horde.
collectathon platformers, the per-person shooter, or more MOBAs, and more recently Battle Royale games.
Yeah.
The modern gaming industry finds a good idea and rams into the ground until it's so annoying.
Even Tetris is doing it.
Good God.
Well, we don't actually. I think development on that movie's kind of stalled. We haven't heard jack shit about it recently.
Oh, it's a leaker, of course.
That is another thing they actually bring in that wasn't in until Resident Evil 2. Lickers. Basically, lickers are what happen when certain zombies become incredibly mutated to the point where their brain literally becomes too big for their head and swells out of it.
Intelligence.
That said, though, they are incredibly dangerous, needless to say.
Basically, each Resident Evil game tries to have its own at least one or two iconic monsters specifically. The first one had the Hunters, the second one had the Leakers, the third one is mostly Nemesis, let's face it.
Oh, hell yeah.
Fourth one has the Regenerate. Also, that zombie is T-posing. Oh, actually, no, she was our protagonist. Why are you doing that?
Memories are flooding back to me.
I get it. You're in love with it. I need you to zoom in like that.
Yeah. Would you believe it, Dwibs? This is when he's restrained.
These 360 shots, Jesus.
I wonder what it's like when they got married.
Oh.
Do you think the cameraman at some point gets dizzy from all these 360 shots?
You have to wonder.
Yeah, it's like, Paul, I've been doing this for 3
No,
hours.
I want another take.
But my head's spinning. I think west is north and south is east.
Another take, dang it. We need to know that the world revolves around Mila Jovovich.
Shut up and get back to
Married.
Shut up and get back to the camera booth tales.
But don't you see, it's all part of my elaborate plan. You see, Alice is going to have an amazing arc, and I want it to be hinted at very subtly in the first chapter, before I ram it into everyone's heads with the later movies.
Paul, you should know. You wrote this.
Oh, goody! Okay, here we're about to get to quite possibly one of the most popular scenes of this movie. Because, believe it or not only did Resident Evil games take from this movie, not only did they take the idea of the Red Queen from this movie, but now you're about to see an actual scene that was literally...
Oh, let me guess. The lasers from Resi 4 are taken from here?
Not just that, the lasers from the Umbrella Chronicles.
Oh, that too.
I guess Colin Salmon's about to become,
Oh, you'll see.
fish food. 1, 7.
Hey,
that's how many big series games there are right now.
1, 2, 1, 7, 7.
Ha! Checkmate. I made a chess reference because, I don't know. Uh-oh, being watched.
By Marilyn Manson.
Guys, should we be saying that when the
generator.
Guys, should we be saying that in front of the camera that the Red Queen can clearly hear us through?
I'm sorry, Father. I'm afraid I can't allow you to do that.
Well, crud. Level 5. Weapon system online.
Oh no, we're about to get killed by the coolest swords possible.
Everybody just stay calm, okay?
Whoop.
Medic! Medic, could you stop standing there? Could you... Look!
Oh.
Medic!
Oh.
Okay, she may not be able to help.
Also, I gotta love, we still haven't seen a proper single zombie attacks, and the first couple of red shirts are getting taken out by a fucking laser.
Oh, that is so cheating.
Smart.
But it's cheating. Oh,
Okay, now that's
Oh.
cheating.
too late.
I tried.
Oh, well, hey, at least Colin Salmon can reincarnate and be and die another day. Oh, fuck, that's worse.
So, half of the team is dead and not from zombies.
Lasers!
How long are we in the movie?
33
33
minutes.
And how long's left?
Around an hour.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, the camera's amused.
Yes. Maybe we should just report back and tell Umbrella that we need backup on this.
Yeah.
I thought Umbrella were the bad guys.
They are.
So why should I feel sorry for these?
I don't think they know this.
Oh, well, that's the thing, Dwibs. Just
A lot
because
of
Umbrella are
times
the bad
Umbrella
guys.
hires mercenaries of some kind.
Mercenaries.
So you're
Sometimes
probably expendable anyway.
try not to panic. I mean, you just saw some of your teammates get mowed down like fish chow by lasers.
They got sliced and diced.
Yeah.
Lady, you could try not to.
Yeah, that wasn't very tactful given the situation.
She was just trying to comfort him.
That's a very nice gesture, but maybe you could try it in a way that doesn't scare the shit out of him.
Yeah.
I'm sure the poor kid he's having a nervous breakdown.
I mean, he just saw his leading commander get checkerboarded.
Oh,
So
right.
what does that mean? Does that mean that he's the leading commander now?
Welcome in.
Klingon promotion, Dibs.
Yeah. Congratulations. The captain is dead, so you're the captain now.
That tends to happen a lot in Resident Evil games.
But I'm the private and you're the captain, so
Hey.
now I'm the captain.
Hey, you want to see some big promotions? Let's talk about Leon S. Kennedy's first day as a police cop. He got promoted to, pretty much only police cop left alive.
That is some job position.
Yep, on his first day, no less. Okay, so all we gotta do is stick the thingy in here and bam, we can shut off the Red Queen.
With an EMP. Hello. The Red
that's
Queen,
CGI.
this Red Queen avatar is actually an actress that has been CGI. Michaela Diker.
Okay, filmmakers, here's something. If you can't pull off an effect with the limited budget you have, don't do the effect.
To be fair, it was back in 2002, this was groundbreaking.
Wow.
No, it wasn't.
This poor girl has only like 3
Joe,
roles
bear in mind,
on her
11
resume, and
years
this was the
earlier-
last one.
Joe, bear in mind, 11 years early, Terminator 2 came out, and that's not much better CGI.
So, yeah, the Red Queen is now shut down.
That was very anticlimactic.
What's the rest of the movie be then?
There's-
Well, how about fucking zombies? That would be nice.
Yeah, about
I haven't
that.
seen any though.
Basically, the Red Queen was warning them not to shut her down or they would all find themselves dead.
Yeah, good luck with that.
That's the thing, the Red Queen was keeping a few things on lockdown. When you shut her down, all the safety procedures go off. And when
And
the
now you're
safety
just
procedures
about
go off,
very few people against an entire facility full of zombies. Enjoy.
that's right, now that you shut her off, you let all the people out to play.
So let's clock in almost 38 minutes so the movie can actually start.
Alright, I'll be right back again, I'm sorry.
Oh, that was a long intro sequence.
Yeah.
Don't you just hate games with these long prologues?
I know people hated the Kingdom Hearts 2 prologue.
Oh, God.
Hmm.
Again, I swear, you're that girl that usually dies and stuff. Is it really safe? Hello? Is there anyone living? I mean, it would be silly if there was anyone otherwise.
Also, don't expect that much in weapon variety. Unlike other potential horror series, Resident Evil doesn't do much in terms of extravagant weapons. It sticks to the very
Yeah,
basic
I
stuff.
was gonna ask where Michelle Rodriguez.
Okay, honey, pro tip, don't put your hands near anyone's mouth, okay?
Again, this is okay, not counting jump scares from before, this is supposed to be your zombie introduction here. It's still not good.
She's not exactly in the listening mood.
Pretty sure she's not listening.
He hasn't caught on yet.
You know, it was so nice
Hey,
of it was
at
so
least
nice.
he's smart to aim in the legs.
It was so nice of
Now he
Umbrella.
gets it.
I gotta say, it was so nice of Umbrella higher-ups not to warn the firing squadron that they were sending in that, hey, people exposed to this virus may be a bit agitated, and if they bite you, that's an incredibly bad thing. Although, to be fair, that's kind of a thing in the game. Seriously, Umbrella sucks with their management.
Big time. I bet we don't even have a union.
I mean, it shows when they got sued and pretty much sued out of business how much they sucked at being an evil corporation. Maybe if they just treated their employees better, they wouldn't have had so many betraying them.
Probably, like I said earlier, they should have just stuck to hot dogs. And Cole Phelps hadn't destroyed all their stands.
So, we're all good, but Michelle Rodriguez's character has been bitten.
I'm sure it's nothing.
Uh-huh.
I've seen the Fast and Furious series. She'll be fine.
Right, yes, she'll duck out of the way of an explosion just right at the last second.
Is this what happens in Fast and Furious? They think she's dead, but she survives at the last second.
Basically, Tio, we see her clearly getting shot in Fast and Furious 4, but in Fast and Furious 6, they retcon it that she ducked right out of the way just in time for her car to instead be shot and exploded, and she got memory loss out of the deal.
Let me get this straight. They managed to find an excuse to save her, but not Han.
God.
Han was doomed by canon.
It boggles the mind why they didn't just retcon him as faking his death, though. I mean,
even by the standards of Fast and Furious, you don't typically survive an explosion.
well,
The thing
somehow
is,
she did.
when you eventually get to the flashback version of the scene and then remember the original scene, there was no way she would have gotten out of that car in time at all under any
Okay.
circumstances.
Although then again, we're questioning the logic of a series where you can drive a car from one building to another.
Anyway, but yeah, okay, that was actually a nice little reference to the first film with the
Okay, I
head
get
tilting
it,
of
but
a
you
zombie.
don't have much budget, but these extras as the zombies, I'm not sure. We could have done something a bit better to them. I don't know.
Look like those cheap ones you see in Halloween parties.
I mean, I had to be make up as a zombie for a short that I did for friends, and I looked a bit better than this.
Did they blow half the budget on Michelle Rodriguez?
Would
Most
not
likely.
surprise me. It does.
She's not even the main. She's not even the main character.
I think the other half was for Jason Isaacs.
Even though he shows up in an uncredited role and is just the narrator for this movie.
Unstable. Also, I gotta say, And what's with this music so far? The best Barker Beltrami and Marilyn Manson could come up with together is
Grunge.
Yeah, I guess if there's one thing I like better about the other movies, it's that they have better fitting soundtracks, especially Apocalypse.
I mean, I
Oh,
don't think
flashback
Marilyn
time.
Also,
Marilyn Manson's not a folk person. It's
that-
not like Daft Punk either, where their tone generally fits the movie.
that's also kind of a problem to me, Jova. Aside from maybe one or two specific example in way later down the line games, I don't think Resident Evil as a whole has like a particular score where you say, "Oh, this is so memorable." You know, I will listen to this all the time.
I'd say Resident Evil Revelations has a pretty good soundtrack as a whole.
Well, yeah, right on C as we managed to make it, you know,
Hey,
more
what about
popular.
that director's cut?
Oh,
I'd say
that's
a good
memorable
one,
for all the wrong reasons. But okay, I definitely say Resident Evil 3 is a good soundtrack. I mean, I guess it helps that that one's been getting remixed for quite a bit of time lately.
You don't know the code.
You think a bro would tell us something?
Lucky shot.
Just key in the year the first game released. You'll be okay.
Oh, what,
What,
1998?
1996?
Oh, wait, no, wait, no, wait, 1996, cute.
Well, I mean, I don't know if that's the password yet.
Oh shit.
Fuck, that's not. Hey, 9-6. Hey, that's what was it? Oh.
Congratulations! Wrong
These
floor!
extras.
Alright, everyone, grab whatever you can, but be careful. Be careful when you grab Michelle Rodriguez, okay?
Yeah. The co-actor, he's freaked
She was
out.
already beaten. Come on.
But Tio, like you said, she's just been bitten. What could possibly happen from that?
Hey, maybe that's where she got her magical surviving powers in the Fast and Furious movies.
Of course, the T-virus.
I mean, they're from
Oh,
different
boy.
studios. It's totally kind of.
Oh,
my
boy.
Oh no.
Paul,
Yep.
Okay, so basically, in 7 years, Paul has learned nothing with how bad CGI is.
I mean, design-wise, it's fine. The liquor is fine. It's just the way it's animated that it's wrong.
Like, I get standards were lower back then, but god, they must have been lower.
That's a problem in general, Jova, with CGI.
Although, I will say
it
this,
will constantly get dated in a couple of years.
In terms of CGI, I think Spider-Man did it better in 2002.
I will have to re-see it again, just to know better.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know.
They're like The Walking Dead. You dunce. Although, to be fair, you were just doing your job, so why am I mad at you?
That was a perfectly good gun. Okay, I get that she's angry. She's losing a lot of. Is she the commanding officer of this group?
I wonder if
so,
she is
no.
now. Well, the commanding officer is in several pieces right now, so...
Oh, right, protagonist. Forgot about her for a second.
Oh yeah, she was the. Like again, remember, I think because Paul W.S. Anderson and Mila Jovovich weren't married yet. He
Yeah.
thought he'd give more screen time to the person whose salary probably cost the most.
Uh-huh. That's right. Rodriguez.
Again, I'm guessing because I mean she's the most recognizable name out of everyone here.
Again, her name is one of the two that's on the cover of this movie. Well, that's biggest, anyway. So,
Hey,
Alice, got any memories you want to uncover?
day 35.
It's not just that. This scene is clearly supposed to set up tension for the zombie dogs because it's clearly pointing at that.
Oh yeah, the
It's just not
Cerberuses.
working.
Cerberus, that's the dog that has 3 heads, right?
Basically,
It's more of
Dwibs.
a figurative name, Lives.
Basically, Dribs, in the Resident Evil series,
Oh.
Dobermans
Evil
who have
doggo.
been given the T-virus are referred to as Cerberuses.
Do you still like them, Shiroi?
Hmm.
I think you're more cats, aren't you, Siri?
Basically, Cerberuses are no-nonsense zombies. Unlike the regular type of zombies, they're fast, they can sniff
So
you
we have
out.
zombie doggos.
Yep. Oh, jeez.
Oh, Resident Evil likes to experiment with zombies. Just for record, Troy, we have had a zombie elephant, a zombie shark, a zombie
zombie snake.
spider, a zombie snake, and a freaking zombie whale.
Also, several
See, that
types
sounds
of,
cool. A zombie snake sounds fucking terrifying, and I never want to
Also-
see it.
several different types of zombie plants. So.
Oh, yeah. And don't even get me started on the zombie lions, the zombie hyenas, the zombie crocodile.
So we do get zombie cats, technically.
Oh, yes, we
I
definitely
think
do.
so. Technically,
Yay.
yeah.
I want one.
Yeah. I'll admit they are pretty cool.
Release it on my enemies.
Speaking of which, Down Boy.
I mean, that one was a nice reference to Resident Evil 1, which is a similar scene where the dogs jump from one of the windows.
Maybe a zombie chew toy?
Oh, hey
Oh.
there!
Oh.
Hi, Popper.
You guys come here often. Okay, I'll admit the
Sit,
Cerberus.
stay.
I'll admit the Cerberuses actually do look pretty nice with the effects on hand.
Yeah, interesting enough.
This is probably where they spent the most budget on.
Possible.
Again, effects-wise.
Oh yeah, umbrella bullets.
You can tell this was for a medical audience.
Uh-oh.
Ooh.
Yeah, crud.
Alright, everyone, get the guitars out.
Oh.
Street Fighter move.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if later Resident Evil games started getting more actiony based also on these movies.
Well, actually,
I mean,
Tio,
despite... Oh, sorry, Jova.
that's actually it, Tio. This movie is what inspired Resident Evil 4 to go on the path it eventually did. Which means we have this movie to thank for Resident Evil 4 and 5, which is good, but we also have it to thank for Resident Evil 6, Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City.
Raccoon City and Umbrella Corps.
Yeah. Anyway, you were saying, Shiroi?
How old is this movie?
It's,
2002.
Almost 20 years old.
yeah, it's 17
Okay.
years old now.
Well, I will say, despite, Dwibs, you were talking about money for effects earlier, and I get that, but these dogs look far better than those weird security cats that they had in Crimes of Rolling.
Ugh.
Those things were hideous.
Is that what they're
I
calling
mean, design-wise, I
nowadays?
kind of liked them, but their movements were just awful.
Jank, yeah.
Well, shouldn't that be more David Yates's fault then?
Well, I think she's just calling it Crimes of Rolling because I think that's what people are calling it these days. So, let's see if this guy can get some of his memory back too.
Or if you'll
Hey there, buddy!
Oh.
Do you have a business card to be here?
Yeah, do you have an
What do you mean
appointment?
what do you mean by funny exactly, Joe?
Uh-oh.
What, do you mean dog funny or something? Because damn, that series had a dark ending then. Dear Journal, I turned into a zombie.
You'd be surprised, Drip. Some zombies have a sense of humor, like Mr. X does.
What a Disney didn't want to carry on.
Well, hey, as Resident Evil the Remake 2 has shown us, some zombies can have a sense of humor.
Hello.
Hey there!
Handsome.
Lisa!
Mate,
Aw, someone you
do you know
know.
she's-
Yeah!
You're tearing me apart, Lisa.
Where shall I?
Ooh.
Huh. That's handy.
Literally. Also,
Oh.
missed opportunities. She could have used a thinker statue.
So, apparently Alice, while being a member of Umbrella, may have been helping some people get stuff from Umbrella. But for what purpose?
So mysterious.
It turns out she was this guy's sister.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's okay. You don't have to care too
You're
much.
silent.
Does he turn out to be a cow later on in the film?
A virus that turns you into a cow. We don't have that yet.
In British terms, Jova, cow means bitch, pretty much.
Sounds like a disease that you'd have in an Earthworm Jim game.
Oh, you'd be surprised, sure. Resident Evil has quite an interesting plethora of different viruses.
Similar to the nanomachines in Metal Gear, viruses are made by Umbrella or one other
So
potential
what's this guy
company.
saying here then? I don't have subtitles.
Oh, basically, he and his sister were out to expose Umbrella, but there was no way he could have infiltrated the hive unless they had an insider.
Did the Redfield siblings ever try and do that in the games?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Well, more
Sort
later
of.
down the line. Basically, after the Raccoon City accident, the United States government founded the company BSAA, Bioterrorism Security Association and Assistance, I think it is. Basically devoted entirely to hunt down companies like Umbrella and, shut down their experiments.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, as I was saying, the viruses in Resident Evil series can do whatever the fuck the writers want.
Like, there's the T-Abyss virus, which can turn you into a sea type of creature.
Because why not?
And then there's stuff like the A virus, which you can actually be reversed.
I thought you were going to say the A virus turns you into an owl.
And then there's the C virus. Yeah, I'm not kidding. There are all these viruses.
That's the one that turns you into a cow.
That said, though, avoid the G virus at all costs. Like, seriously, don't even come near the G virus.
I think from the way you said it earlier, Jova, I thought you meant like whatever letter of the alphabet it was, it turns you into something that begins with that letter.
Let me put it like this. The G virus turns you into a giant mutant who's constantly regenerating, is hard to kill, and will seek out the nearest living relative to try and mate with them to implant your spunk into them so that they'll become just like you.
So what? The B virus turns you into a bee?
I don't know if we have a B virus.
I might check, I might as well.
Well, the D virus turns you into a deer. I'm not getting that. Wow, Michelle, great take you're having there.
You know, for someone who's trying to break free of Fast and Furious, Michelle, not your best performance, just saying.
Like zombies, whatever.
Yeah, I worked with Vin Diesel, zombies are nothing.
Damn.
Well, I think that was before Vin Diesel started throwing his weight around as producer, at least according to The Rock.
Uh-huh.
Well, yeah, this was, you said, after the first movie only?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's time to kick ass.
And take names. And we're all out of names to
I
take.
barely, because I barely remember their names.
That's a line she said in the movie.
Although to be fair to Michelle Rodriguez, the acting across the board hasn't exactly been very stellar either.
Yeah, I would agree on that.
I mean, I guess that the earlier
maybe it has to do. Maybe Paul W.S. Anderson's a crap director.
Possible.
Possibly. I mean, I did like Musketeers movie, but that was like in 2011. So yeah, our only hope now is to try and help the Red Queen.
Oh, the irony.
You know, the way you say that, Joba, it's like Paul W.S. Anderson is like Uwe Boll. He had only like one semi-decent movie. The difference between them is that Paul W.S. Anderson doesn't use tax loopholes.
Yeah.
But he said Red whatever was dead.
No. Well, they shut
Red's
her off,
bad.
but they brought her back online.
That's not an argument. I mean, I appreciate that you're trying to give a sort of scientific, biological explanation of why zombies can exist, but we can live without that. Eat.
I got a need to feed.
Okay,
Yeah.
the movie should stop these jump scares, honestly.
Hey, speaking of Need for Speed, it's interesting that Need for Speed took as long as it did to get a movie of its own.
Oh, that's right. That got a movie.
Yeah. I'm surprised the EA didn't do something like that sooner, considering...
Classic Umbrella, giving their AI the protocol that if there's any bit of a leak of a T-virus, kill everything! Kill everyone! Wipe the board clean!
I mean, it's probably the most efficient way. I would rather have the people dead than being turned into zombies.
If Umbrella Corps was so efficient, how come they
The
wouldn't have
problem, though,
business
T,
in
is that it
games?
killed literally everybody in every section of the facility.
Also, Dweebs, one, they ran out of capable people. Two, they ran into people that managed to outsmart them.
So yeah, if you get bitten, scratched, or so much as licked by one of these creatures, yeah, you're pretty much sentenced to become one of them. It's a good thing none of us got bitten, oh wait.
Question, how's Michelle Rodriguez in any of the future movies then?
A lot of stupid stuff.
Here's
you'll
the thing,
see.
Dweebs. Well, I guess you jumping the gun a bit, but let's just say that some of the later viruses in Resident Evil do manage to make you retain your intelligence.
Believe it or not, there are some lucky few with the T-virus. In fact, the major antagonist of the majority of the series, Albert Wesker, is a specially breeded person who is meant to have the T-virus, but withstand the zombie effects of it. Using it for,
It
shall we
also helps
say,
that there are like a
greater stuff.
gajillion variants of the T virus. I think Wesker is like a specific one in him.
Yeah.
I think it's the T Phobos. Let me check.
Oh, no, that's his sister who has T-phobos.
Right, you're right.
Don't touch him, you moron. You've got a virus.
Oh,
Hey, off him! He's not on the menu yet.
So, hang on, wait. Michelle touched him. Does that mean he's gonna get the virus?
Nah. Only if she, like, bites or scratches him or gets her blood in him or something. Slow-mo!
yeah, no.
Welcome to
Wow.
Resident Evil Wrestling.
Will Mario our way out of this?
The soundtrack goes from 0 to 11.
I
Just
know,
every
right?
once in a while.
So it's Marilyn Manson then.
Neck snap on the zombie, yo!
Ooh. This is Resident Evil, not Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, Paul W.S. Anderson thought he was still making that.
Well, cried.
Shit.
That's 2 bites now, Rodriguez. You want to keep going? Oh, hey, one of our comrades.
And yeah, because again, she's a freaking moron, she just stands there and gets bitten. Again.
I mean, Michelle,
Also,
you're
yeah,
not playing
sewer
one.
level.
Michelle, you're not playing one of the video game protagonists, okay? Those guys can get bitten and not infected. Be by the powers of
enough.
video game that be.
But that's enough about Fast and Furious. Let's
Yeah.
Anyway, Joe, I think when it comes to the Wesker and the Project W in general, it's more about the progenitor virus.
Yeah. So, Rain, we gonna do something about your wounds
Oh
there.
my god, I love these extras so much.
yeah,
The way
that's,
they
that's,
act.
that's the thing.
Blood!
recent
Blood! Give me some, give me some, give me some!
The recent Fast and Furious movies are better video game movies than, well, most video game movies.
Huh. Oh. Well, the Red Queen did try to warn
You're
you.
so optimistic.
Whoa, I'm feeling so pumped that I'm gonna survive. I'm just touching the room like, honey, have you seen my car keys
Again,
on the shelf?
The
These
way these
extras.
extras are directed is so amazing.
Alright, everyone, rub your hands along there like you're trying to reach up onto the shelf and find your car keys, okay? Action. Also, your zombies go, ooh.
This has got to be one of the easiest zombie acting jobs ever. This music, it's
You know,
just...
I bet one of them really did lose their keys and they just got mixed up with an extra and they're just doing that IRL to try and find what they were looking for.
Hey, would you like anything else to go wrong today? Yes, please.
You can't kill Mila Jovovich. She's, well, not yet. But
Oh, no,
she
no,
will
no,
be
no, no.
There'll be a chance.
Conveniently, Oh, yeah, Mila Jovovich. Yeah, no, can't kill her yet.
I mean, they're not married yet, but you're not at the point.
Hey, stop staring up her dress, you pervert zombies.
Remember, Jova, they're down to the basic desire of feeding.
Yes. Anytime now, Rain.
But she can't see.
But Alice can.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Thank you,
I don't know
Alice.
why that would be the case.
Of course, the protagonist can do it.
You can do it, guy who said we were all gonna die down here.
I mean, wasn't she like an agent who lost her memory?
Yeah.
So I guess in that sense you know how to do it.
Oh, crud.
No, one bullet. Yeah.
Just gotta make this shot count somehow.
Gotta love how he didn't contemplate killing himself. Oh yeah, that's right, I forgot to mention. You can see some blood here, but you can see the movie is like still like PG-13, I think, or PG. Paul W.S. Anderson wanted to release an R-rated cut of his movie, but unfortunately could never manage to effectively have one released, so that's kind of a shame.
That's what later movies are for. Go!
What did you say about going out there, all of them?
Say please.
Okay. I guess they're trying... It feels like they're trying to get down the cheese of Resident Evil. Oh, God. Well, he's gone. Actually, no! He shot the zombie, even though he stuck it in his mouth.
Don't see Jova. It's a magical bullet. It went from his mouth into the zombie.
And what's this? Now he'll manage to get away. Wow, I gotta say, that's quite a turnaround for the guy. He goes from we're
He
all
just
gonna...
wanted to clean the gun, I guess?
He goes from
No,
we're all
Jova,
going to die to actually managing to outwit the zombie, fakes him out, and there.
No, the Jova is a turnabout.
Of course.
Of course.
Because Capcom, lol.
You
Can you
know,
imagine an R-rated Ace Attorney movie?
that would, well, hey, we did have an M-rated Ace Attorney game, so
True.
why not?
Well, M and R are different age brackets, age ratings. I mean, hell,
Well, R is only one step up, isn't it?
Yeah, like M's 17 and up, R is like 18 and up.
round here in the UK, you know, R's like a 15, and the one above it is like an 18. Yeah, we do both things. We do numbers, we do letters, and then numbers.
Oh no.
Oh, right.
We
those
like
are
to be
good.
fussy.
Well, we've outwitted most of the zombies, so it should be fair game from here.
How long's left?
About 32 minutes.
We're still freaking going. Can I go back to the cinema and watch that?
That's cute. What Rain said. When I get out of here, I'm gonna get laid. Well, that explains Fast and Furious 4.
I thought she was gonna say I'm gonna have a Jill sandwich or something.
So they die and get reincarnated into another Fast and Furious movie.
Wouldn't
And then
that
she
be
dies,
interesting?
and then but turns out she isn't dead. And
I have
So
to
she's
say,
an anime protagonist.
I have to say, Rain, you're very, very, very optimistic for someone who got bitten 3 times after you've been told what happens when you get bit.
I'm surprised she's still okay.
wait, ghosts? What?
Ghosts of the past.
Ooh.
Flashback.
Boopy.
Also rabbit.
Yeah, wait, hold on. Our protagonist's name is Alice. The AI is called the Red Queen, and she's seeing a white rabbit. Did somebody in Umbrella just have an Alice in Wonderland fetish?
Wouldn't surprise me.
Followed by the Matrix.
Aww.
So what are we
Poor
gonna
Bun
get?
Bun.
So what are we gonna see? Zombie rabbits too?
Can we have some? If we're doing the Matrix, can we have zombie Keanu Reeves?
Keanu Reeves in a Resident
I
Evil
know,
project.
Kung Fu.
Hey, there's a cure for the T-virus! Yay!
Let me guess. The cure is actually the T virus, and it makes everything worse.
You'd be surprised. That sometimes is the case, but there actually are quite a few cures for the T-virus, especially when they were announced in Resident Evil Outbreak with the Daylight vaccine.
Is that a
So what
PS2?
does that involve? Shoving people outside in the sun?
Basically, they named it Daylight because it lights our darkest hour. Yeah, needless to say,
Wow.
Needless to say, Raccoon City was going to crap at the time that vaccine was made.
When wasn't it going to crap, from what I understand?
Before
It's-
1998.
It now has become very ridiculous to the point that during the Raccoon City outbreak, like a cajillion separate different events were taking place at the same time.
Apparently,
All very important.
Umbrella let all of their high, big bioweapons in to test them at some point. Oh, don't even get me started on Operation Raccoon City involving Echo 6.
Which basically is a team that says, "Oh, we were totally here during these events."
Yeah, and Wolfpack too.
So they tried to Lion King free that then, I guess.
Yeah.
Basically, Raccoon City is considered the high point of the Resident Evil series. Capcom, at some point, went, okay, we gotta milk this for all it's worth, and milk they did.
Ooh.
So Alice was going to help Matt's sister Lisa get the virus to help expose Umbrella, but there was a price. Yeah, give it a few games and some spin-offs, honey. It takes a while to bring Umbrella down.
Oh, they even had sex.
That's integral to know. It was part of their fake marriage to do secrecy for the company. But it turns out that they may have actually have had feelings for each other.
Also, get it.
And yeah,
He was pants.
It turns
Who
out
did the
he was the
outbreak?
one who made the tea outbreak. Turns out you were right, Tio.
Poor guy.
Also, get it is called Spencer, like the Spencer Mansion.
Yep, and like Oswald Spencer, the leader of Umbrella.
That's the thing. Until Resident Evil 5, I think they never properly explained the origins of Umbrella.
No, I'll still make it out of here. My name's on the poster, damn it.
Yes, join me and together we can be filthy, stinking rich.
I mean, when was the last time a movie killed off one of the main character that was on the poster? Oh wait, Deep Blue Sea did that. Spoilers.
Oh, you do.
Well, he's got a point, Roy. If he's played Resident Evil, so he knows he needs the bullets. Cute.
Wouldn't that be something if they took a Digimon Tamers approach, where the video game and that exists in this world?
You know, I wouldn't be surprised if in universe companies have made video games based off of the Raccoon City outbreak. Especially considering how popular some of the characters have become in the universe. Like, for instance sake, Leon started off as simply just a police cop, who later go on to be the president's most trusted freaking agent.
So it is like Paul Walker then in Fast and Furious, he went from cop to agent.
Huh. Maybe that's their take on it. Who's there? It smells like a tasty morsel.
If you don't mind, I'm trying to sleep.
He's not noticing her or listening.
Seriously? This easy a meal? Taco! Okay. I'll give this movie credit. It gets the cheese of the original Resident Evil games. That's not necessarily an excuse, but by God, this kind of reflects the acting of Resident Evil 1. The original
I agree,
Resident
but
Evil
only
1.
partially.
Okay, but on the other hand, I'm really starting to see why Anderson only directed the first Mortal Kombat movie, not write it.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, we kind of figured that, hun.
Uh-oh.
Hello there.
Oh!
Yes, of course I'm naughty.
Yeah.
I'm evil.
The Red Queen, she may have engineered a little thing to deal with Spence. Let's see, you're a Resident Evil scumbag, so how long do you think it'll take for him to get his comeuppance?
At the end of the movie.
Let's just say Resident Evil has a very interesting way of dealing with its scumbags most of the time.
Okay, that's the thing. Why do people do this? Pull on their arm with string?
It's to make the vein a lot more visible to see so you can
due to
inject it
blood
into
pressure. It basically pumps up more stressfully your blood pressure, and veins pop up better.
Okay, I'll believe that. It's coming
They do
from-
that at blood tests as well, if you have one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's coming from the son of a doctor and
Oh, hello there.
and a medical guy in Tio.
There you go! The liquor got him.
It's not a tyrant,
Terrible
but that will
CGI
too.
liquor. I mean, seriously, bad CGI looks like stop motion, except I don't think that's stop motion.
That's putting it lightly.
Was that the bunny?
That surprised me.
Stop showing that thing. It looks awful.
Oh, it's
Ew.
mutating. It's funny because there's an actual monster called Hunters in this series.
Mm-hmm.
What, the film series or?
The game series.
I don't know. I never planned to get this far. Well then, allow me to suggest your next move.
So, yeah, there's no guarantee that the antivirus will work considering how long Rain's been infected, but there is a chance.
Well, first of all, let me ask you a question.
Oh boy.
I never asked for this.
I present to you, I'm stealing a joke from Horrible Histories, the Axe Factor. Yeah. Poof.
Excellent.
Kill
Extreme.
Michelle Rodriguez.
We'll stop now.
Yeah.
Possibly. Maybe.
Yeah. You have to ask me later on that one.
So basically, the Red Queen ain't letting them out until they put down Michelle Rodriguez.
But why? There would be another Fast and Furious movie for another
Because she's infected, and
7 years.
well, we wouldn't want an infectee to get out. It could lead to an outbreak.
In fact, what was she in between this and Fast and Furious?
Hello.
I don't know.
Hello there.
Hey
Again.
there, cutie. Just kill me already! Send me off back to the Fast and Furious series! Do it! Do it!
But that's not for 7 years.
Do it.
Oh, cried.
That face.
Oh, the audio mixing there was quite weird.
Well. Oh, also, oh shit.
So, Alice took the
most-
third option.
The most quote-unquote noteworthy movie that Michelle Rodriguez was in between this and Fast and Furious 4 was Blood Rain.
Oh
Oh.
no.
Hey! The mechanic guy! He made it out fine!
He is on, but let me guess, he's slowly,
Nah, he's fine. However, now that he fried the Red Queen, we really have to get going now. It's something from the video games, dang it!
Wait, these are
It's
based
just
on
a
video
giant
games?
gooey bunny rabbit.
Yeah, totally evil.
Oh, well, somebody left a bit of a mess. Oh, Spence!
Clean up on platform 1.
No. You see, guys, someone told him to get ahead of the game. He took that advice too literally.
Got a
I'm
one-liner.
amazed she went through all this in that fucking dress.
You'd be surprised what women in dresses can do in this series, Shiroi. Like I said, that's Ada Wong's freaking dress.
I don't think he's a zombie.
Huh. Consider this a breakup.
Oof.
Well, that's one way to break up with your boyfriend.
I mean, you could consider it putting him out of his misery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's the divorce. It's a fake divorce, but a divorce nonetheless.
I mean, death is a pretty final in divorce, isn't it?
Cute how she
Till
left the
death
ring
you
with him.
part.
Yeah, in sickness and in health, till death do we part.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay, so let's give Rain the injection. I assure you, you'll survive. I mean, you're played by one of
Somehow I don't really believe that.
Famous last words, Alice. Famous
Yeah,
last
there's
words.
way too much of this movie left, lady.
Yeah, this movie. There's a problem with this movie. It feels a lot longer than it is.
Hmm.
Also, we're on a train. Like, everything about what's going on right now feels very Final Destination.
Oh, you'd be surprised, Troy. Resident Evil material loves to have its final climax on trains.
Not just that, but it's not as trigger happy as Metroid. There are all Resident Evil 8 games that ends with countdowns.
Yeah.
I don't like...
Not a fan of countdowns?
No.
So I take it you don't watch Countdown then, Shiri.
She's just asleep. Kiss her. That will wake her up.
Shiri.
Yeah, we need gay princesses. Go.
So, Shiri, I take it you don't watch Countdown then?
I used to watch Countdown, actually.
Countdown's a popular game show around here.
It's a grammar show.
And math.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
I know I said we would all make it out alive, but I'm just keeping my gun trained on you just in case. I'm not a zombie yet.
Yeah, just in case.
Oh my, maybe we will get our gay princess moment, Roy. Mila Jovovich and Michelle Rodriguez doing it hot. Also, Matt has unfortunately been scratched by the liquor.
So how long do they have before they
Also,
turn?
these 360 shots.
Depends.
Again, Paul W.S. Anderson wants to show that he can do it.
No, you made it for so much, Mechanic Guy. Knock, knock, open up the door, it's real. You know, what'd be funny is if the liquor was just sticking with them and came in through the ceiling.
Uh,
And yeah, it's just funny. Yeah, the CGI here,
Yeah.
it's shit. It's shit looking. Yeah, but it's better than the CGI film. It's better than the CGI in League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Came out only a year later.
God, tell me about it.
And bear in mind, the effects from that film were from ILM. Apparently.
Got your tongue. Ooh, yeah.
Oh.
Needless to say, liquors don't like getting impaled in the tongue.
Oh, shit.
Ah, that hurts.
Oh, crud.
And here's the reason Michelle Rodriguez wanted to be in the movie, I guess.
So she could be a zombie, I guess.
I don't know if she said that for sure, but...
And here we go. The final boss with Michelle Rodriguez as a zombie.
yeah, that's another thing. There's no tyrant in this movie.
That's what Apocalypse is for.
Oh.
Well, that was an epic final boss. And the restaurant liquor. Yeah, let's let the train tracks deal with that.
Yeah. To Michelle Rodriguez and
Oh, boy.
I know from the cargo door. Yeah, I know Michelle Rodriguez's character has a name, but
It's probably a good thing you didn't kiss her, huh?
Probably.
I haven't.
And then there were two. God damn it. I loved her.
welcome aboard the Umbrella Express.
Pretty much.
Destination, fuck those.
Let's get the fudge out of Dodge. Especially
What's
before
the
that
countdown for
countdown
again?
reaches.
Sorry?
I believe that.
Self-destruct.
Yep, they're gonna blow up the base.
Wow, that went down from like 15 to 0 very quickly. That was not 15 seconds.
Yeah, Paul, But basically, Shuri, Paul can't count.
Yeah, Umbrella loves their self-destruct timers.
I suppose this is a place where they got a lot to hide, though, so destroying any trace of it is probably,
That's
something
what
to do.
they do. A lot of that. Anyway, so Shuri, what do you have against countdowns, if I may ask?
Pressure?
Ah.
I mean, especially if you're watching the show, and every time you do a countdown, you keep thinking in your head. Duh, 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 duh.
No, that's fine, but then you get something like Monkey Ball where the timer is extremely obnoxious in the last 10 seconds.
But hey, guys, it's not all bad. Now we have the evidence to bring Umbrella down, so as long as nothing bad happens, oh crap.
Damn it, Jova.
Yeah, Matt's infected. And there he is, Jason Isaacs. In a mask. Playing William Birkin. Uncredited. Ha! Oh, but this is cute. Listen up what they're going to do with Matt. Wait, hold on. That's right, they're putting him in the Nemesis program.
The what?
Yeah. Basically,
Jesus.
let's just say what they lacked in Tyrants in this film, they're gonna make up with in the second film. That's right, Tio, they're giving Nemesis his origin story here.
Got that. Gah.
Whoosh.
Yes, Admiral Zhao.
Yes, thank you, William Birkin, aka Isaacs. You know what's
Thanks,
funny is
Ethan.
that in the next movie, there's actually literally a doctor called Dr. Isaacs. Yes.
Oh, there he is, the one on the left.
Yep.
Resident Evil.
And here we go again. Ellis wakes up naked.
Remember, Paul had to write and direct this.
I feel like I've had a bunch of ain'ts injected into me. What have they done?
So what, they've injected her with the Veronica virus?
This is where Alice becomes the Alice that we know in the film series. Essentially, Umbrella injected her with stuff, mainly the T-virus, and let's just say, well, okay, imagine if Albert Wesker was the good guy of the series.
So...
But he also had all these ultra super cool powers to add on top of that. I don't think
What's she
anyone
saying?
can hear you, honey. Let me
What
out.
is he-
There's no one there.
Ah. Oh my god, Jason Isaac's shadow.
Huh. You know, I'm actually surprised they didn't do the G-Virus stuff since they literally have William Birkin in this movie. But no, it turns out William Birkin is the one behind the Nemesis program.
Is he in the
Weird.
future movie?
No.
What's the freaking point?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, of course, it'll unlock when you do that.
Truly, you're the master of unlocking. Wait,
What series was that from again?
Resident Evil. Basically, the female protagonist, Jill, is known as the master of unlocking because she can unlock practically anything with a lockpick.
That name sounded like something Kojima would come up with.
Like, they didn't even put, like, a hospital gown on her. They just put, like, 2 sheets on, like, her front and back.
That's very unhygienical.
I don't think they really care about that in this kind of facility.
Hello? Hospital staff?
Like, the entire point of this place is to spread viruses.
And here
Raccoon
we are.
City Hospital.
Yep, in Raccoon City Hospital.
Well, she found some clothes somewhere.
Umbrella Medical, sheltering your family.
Subtle. Also,
Sheltering, huh?
needless to say, Raccoon City has seen better days.
How do we know it didn't always look
The
like
Dead
this?
Walk.
The Walking Dead.
No.
Well, Jeva, how do we know Raccoon City didn't already look like this?
Well, that's because we have prequel games to fall back on.
But these aren't canon.
And also, Dwebs, if a city always looked like this, how the heck could they have run? Oh yeah, Alice is packing heat, yo! And now we're on the set of Resident Evil 3.
Well, it doesn't make a lot of sense considering all of the outbreak happened in one night and it ended with a nuke.
Well,
Well, okay, to be fair to you, as Resident Evil timelines have shown us, the outbreak kind of lasted a bit more than one day. Actually, quite a lot more than one day.
Marilyn.
Oh
Just
god,
Marilyn.
what a movie, what a movie. Yeah, this movie is
Yeah,
silly,
based
but
upon
it's weird. Later movies would actually try to get closer to the Resident Evil stuff, but in turn, that's when the problems would really start to show. But yeah, back in the day, this movie was a financial success. On a budget of $33 million, it made $103 million. So,
to be a Marilyn. Why?
I guess
Again, it's like I was saying earlier. It's not even like Daft Punk where their style fit the movie.
maybe they saw how Maximum Overdrive, another horror film, used AC/DC and thought they could
But no
one-up
one
that.
saw Maximum Overdrive.
Maybe Paul W.S. Anderson did.
Oh, good for him. So that was Resident
Evil.
I'll start my final thoughts just so I can be quick and be done with it. It's harmless. We may have some downs here and there, but it's mostly harmless. I would say that the problem to me is that for the first half it's relatively boring, if you ask me, and it has some kind of elements that do not respect the game franchise. But for the rest, it's fine. Original story, some Easter eggs here and there. I think there was a right direction, at least with this. So I can totally see why this is considered one of the more noble failures of the game adaptations.
Again, remember,
that's
back
it.
in the day, this was considered successful enough that this actually influenced how Capcom did the series. Like, it was that big a hit.
But that's pretty much it for me. Next.
Shirai?
I don't have much to say either. I enjoyed it for what it was. It wasn't great, but I wasn't really bored at all. I just, like, the way I feel about this is the same mundanity I feel towards pretty much most horror movies in this day and age. I know this one is quite old by this point, but still, like, I don't really hold horror movies in that high of a regard.
I don't think anybody
Like,
blames you for that.
No, I know a lot of people feel the same way, but the movie was fine, honestly. I mean, it's not one I'd go back to again, but I don't feel like I wasted my time by watching it. It was fine, and that's. But I know that would be bad to some people, but you know, it is what it is. So I'm done. Oh, the music is all over the place, but there we go.
Yeah.
Well, considering one of the people that made it.
Well, hey.
It's like a complete tonal shift.
Well, going off of the credits, we have the UK to thank heavily for the making of this movie.
Quick question.
Yeah?
Is this the game series normally, because you mentioned the cheesiness factor, like how cheesy is it in the...
Much more, I
It's
will
like
say this.
I'd say it's like comic book levels of cheesy in that it
Because
varies.
if that movie, in that case, if this movie had that vibe throughout the majority of it, music like this throughout the majority of the movie would have worked quite well.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's like I said, I mean, when this movie gets into its looniness, it does feel like I'm watching a Resident Evil production. I will give it that.
But as it is, the music just doesn't really like the Marilyn Manson stuff just doesn't really work. But yeah, I'm done now.
All right, Dwibs.
Yeah, when I first saw that, I honestly thought someone had just messed with the Wikipedia page, but no,
But having now seen the movie,
with Marilyn Manson in it.
wow.
But this all sucks. I'm sorry. I just don't think it's very good. I mean, considering who it's from, what else did I expect? I mean, it's a bit better than Mortal Kombat, in that the effects aren't as bad. I mean, they're still bad, but still they're not as bad. The plot is a bit slower paced than the Mortal Kombat the movie. Well, I guess that's one thing. It's not the worst thing Paul W.S. Anderson's done that I've seen. But that's not saying much. That's like saying that's like saying you know, I stubbed my toe, but hey, it was better than stubbing my thumb. It's an annoyance either way. Yeah, done.
All right, that leaves me. I'll admit, even though I know what's coming later for the film series, I'll admit, coming back to this movie, it does seem like at worst a noble failure, and at best a guilty pleasure. I mean, you know, okay, the movie does take quite a bit of its time to get to the zombie stuff, but man, I'll admit, when it gets silly, it gets silly. And I'll admit, it does have maybe one or two legit scares in there. They're far and few between. The acting is... Oh, it's definitely on par with classic Resident Evil. Complete with the cheese and everything. Maybe not quite on Resident Evil 3's level, because that's when they started to get more serious. But definitely sort of an original Resident Evil 1 or, God help me, a Resident Evil 2 level. The action is definitely... Well, again, this movie is of two minds. It tries to be slow and methodical, but also it could be a bit action-packed here and there, which ironically would become later the face of Resident Evil. When it works, when it works, it just works. When it doesn't work, yeah, you do feel it. I mean, that said though, I agree with Shiroi and Teal though that it's harmless at worst, and I can get some enjoyment out of it here and there. And hey, it definitely takes a good idea in trying to tell its own original story while having aspects from the game series. Albeit some can be pretty freaking weird. But yeah, that was the first Resident Evil movie, folks. Here, we're handling it in September. Sort of as a nice little, homage to the fact that the video game series at some points takes place in September.
We're a bit early for Halloween.
Oh, don't worry, folks. For all you Resident Evil fans, we've got a little surprise for you coming in Halloween.
Yeah, if during that point in the surprise you end up getting scared, don't blame us, please.
Alright then, see you folks later for Halloween.
Yeah.
So yeah.